this is Yael from Yael Alchemy. I'm here to bring you the message of the Divine Feminine to her beloved for the week of April 16th to the 22nd. Okay, so no long intros now. I've probably said all that I have to say in the Twin Flame Weekly video and the Divine Masculine Message. Okay, so which you have probably seen if you're watching this video now. Okay, anyway, at the bottom of the deck, which would be the general energy of the Divine Feminine, look here, we have the Page of Swords. And when we get the Page of Swords, that's usually an energy of introspection and looking at things in retrospect. Okay, looking at things backward. And you can see here, this woman here, she's climbed this tree and she's now at such a height that she's higher than the kites that are being flown from below. And she's looking down at where she came from. And somehow that seems obscured because of the distance already. It's in an altogether different place that she's in right now. Okay, and you see that because you have a different vantage point already of things. And so here, so there's a sense of looking back at what she's gone through, where she's gotten, and within the twin flame journey. Here we have the Two of Coins, and this is her journey, okay, with her twin flame. And she's analyzing that, all the things that she's gone through. And also wondering if she still has the strength, because what I'm getting is some are really questioning themselves if they have the strength to go through this journey. Okay, but regardless of not, whether even if you take a break, it's still going to continue, with or without you, because the real question is, you've already agreed to go on the journey before the very first lifetime that you've incarnated here. So this agreement was made when you were still a single soul, in order for the both of you to know each other's aspects within you, to know yourself, because you can only know that, you can only define something in relation to something else. You know, the light will not be the light. You will not know it to be light if you don't know what darkness is. And so the concept of union cannot be appreciated in its entirety without the separation. It is the divine dichotomy. That's just how it is. So anyway, there's some divine feminines still wondering if they still have the strength to start again, anew in their lives. And when we say this starting point, it depends really where you're at, because this starting point could be the start of your existence as co-creator in 5D in the new earth, if you're there already. But if you keep on backtracking, this is starting over, and if you think you don't have the patience, you don't have the strength to carry on, this is starting over with a new prospect in your 3D life, because the 3D life is where you want to be at. Well, it's really your choice, because there's free will. Okay, because here, look, some of them are wondering this because this beginning, for some, it hasn't moved quite yet in 3D, which means it hasn't quite manifested yet. See, and some are even experiencing tower moments in their lives, but this is all connected with that. If you watch the Twin Flame Weekly reading, that rude awakening by the invisible hand. And sometimes the invisible hand, because it's going to be mirrored by you if it's happening to your twin, or it could be happening to you, because there are still some aspects that are sort of a blind spot for you that still need work on. Okay, and that's why this Eight of Swords, this paralysis or delay, this non-movement of this beginning is the state that you're in right now. Okay, so there. So some Divine Feminines having a difficult time, in fact, going through these tower moments wherein they don't know what to do with themselves. Okay? Yes, but Spirit is saying just to carry on forward. We have the Knight of Wands here. Remember, for breakthroughs, a large amount of momentum is needed. And sometimes that calls for a tower moment. That is the lightning strike. And all you have to do is cope with it the best that you can, because you have to break through. Otherwise, you'll just be stuck and wallowing. Okay? So these moments, although they seem daunting, it's something that's going to steel you and make you stronger and build your character and strengthen your soul. Okay, and I know that there's the argument that you're living in this life, in the 3D life. That's where you have to cope. But remember, you're a multidimensional being. 3D is just a flat aspect. It's like a drawing on a piece of paper. There's so many more layers to you. The question is just being able to access it so that it either alleviates your experience in 3D, or you get to know yourself more, and then you can create your own reality based on what you know of yourself. Okay, so anyway, let's look at the message the Divine Feminine has for her beloved. I'll open all the cards first. First card we have is the Judgment card. Then we have the Five of Cups. Then we have the Eight of Coins. Then we have the Ace of Coins. Then we have the Five of Wands. The Six of Wands, and the Ace of Cups. Again, a message of assurance from the Divine Feminine, but look at her message. She's telling her beloved that judgment is at hand. He's going to break through. He's going to learn more about himself than he's ever had before, and he's going to look at himself through a different light. Now, depending on how willing he is or how much he has resisted, remember the promptings of Spirit, of his higher self. There's going to be a verdict here. You can see the gavel, okay? And usually the gavel, it signifies whether it's coming to order, things are coming into order, and that signifies this the conclusion, the resolution of things. At least in the Divine Masculine's life, that part of him being able to wake up or recognize his own divinity, recognize his own twin flame even, that's coming to the fore. Now, with this judgment and its recognition, okay, that time continues to run. Okay, Divine Feminine saying that, look, there will be much disappointment in the Divine Masculine, and because this is regret, this is disappointment at all the things that have passed. But she's telling him that you have to let go of that. You have to unburden yourself, whether it's guilt, it's shame, whether this has been brought on by past lifetimes. You have to unburden yourself of that, because you cannot take that with you moving forward. See? And that's why, how do you do this actually? How do you unburden yourself? Divine Feminine, because she's gone through it herself, if you're part of that segment of the Divine Feminine Collective, that's part of the first wave. They've done most of the work. If you're just new to this, you just discover this, then continue on, because there's these waves are coming one after the other. And if this wave doesn't resonate with you, this first wave, then the next one is coming right after it, okay? So here, she's telling him, do the work on yourself, work on all these things that you feel guilt and shame about. Because you cannot take them with you moving forward. You cannot meet your soul purpose, your relationship goals with your twin flame if there is this hanging over the divine masculine's head. But it needs to be worked on. See, for this new beginning to kick in, this is the Ace of Coins. So these are things that should be left behind in the past, because this is like a hyper speed right now, and all this disappointment, these are things that you think that you don't want to talk to her anymore because it's been such a long time, and what face are you going to show her because you just disappeared off the face of the planet. That doesn't matter. That's what the Divine Feminine is telling him. No matter how long the time has passed, it's time now. Okay? Because this has got to kick in. But in the same breath, she's also telling her beloved, okay, that look, it's not going to be easy. These are two chestnuts, and you can see the Five of Wands usually represents conflict, whether it's internal or external conflict, because these two chestnuts, they're like they're low-tech toys, okay? They're not like high-tech gadgets. But kids used to play them. They'd put a string through the chestnuts, and they would try to beat each other with a chestnut, okay? So there's conflict there. There's a fight for dominance, really, on who's going to win. That the Divine Masculine might go through, because remember, he was in the state that he was in because he could not find his own voice. He was mistaking other people's projections as that of his own. But the whole purpose of assisting him energetically into coming into his own knowing, coming into his recognition of his being a twin flame, being a divine being, was that so he could muster up that motivation to work on himself more without other people imposing on him, because it has to come from himself. Okay, he has to decide that he's going to seek out this path. And a lot of, like I said in the Divine Masculine message, a lot of them are going through this very intuitively. So, in trying to find their way, or their path, they're going to encounter a lot of opposition, whether internally, if he's still caught up in that programming that either spirituality isn't so manly, okay, or it's not him, because he's very practical. He gives real world solutions to real world problems, all those blurbs, okay, in ads. So there, there's going to be some conflict in him breaking through to this new phase, okay, that the divine feminine has actually broken into. Well, those who have reached that stage. And I always qualify what I said because, um, it does. There are stages of these waves. There are stages wherein the volunteers kick in, and that's crucial because it's like technology transfer. The first wave, they work on themselves, they do their job, and then they're at such high frequency that they can actually help the planet. Now, the second wave, just coming into their own knowing about themselves, they pick up. Because the farther you are out, those who aren't awakened yet, you service, the distance becomes further in the sense that it can't, those who are totally unawakened find it hard to catch up anymore. But this is like piggybacking or guiding someone. That's why it's coming in waves, because each wave, once they've graduated from a phase, then they have other jobs to do because their level of frequency, they're at a high level of frequency that they can do things on the macro level now, and they benefit the planet more that way. And so it's a trickle-down effect. I hope you get what I'm saying. Anyway, so there, divine feminine telling her beloved that there's going to be some conflict involved, whether internally or externally, but he has to go through it. Okay, just move on past it. Go embrace it, accept it, and then move past it, because this is, here we see the Six of Wands, and this is the divine masculine coming out victorious from this conflict. Okay, and here he is. Look, his eyes are closed already because he can see with his third eye, and it's only his third eye that's opened here. And that is what the divine feminine is exhorting the divine masculine to do. Basically, she's giving him the lay of the land, that this is what you're going to be experiencing. And if he is experiencing this now, encouraging him that that's not where it ends. That's not as good as it gets. It gets better. Okay? But he has to emerge from this experience, because that is what's going to purify him, to distill him into the divine masculine that really is ready to go into mission with his twin flame in their combined mission and his own personal mission. Okay, and that's why, look, that's also what's going to lead him to love. This is the Ace of Cups. Okay, and that's what he's going to emerge to. He's finally going to see what he has been blind to before, but he has to go through all this. Okay, and she's just saying that for the rebirth in the new earth, this is what is needed for the divine masculine to go through. So whatever stage he's in, whether his problems would be here, the disappointment, regret, wasted opportunities that he has to work on, or seeing past the illusion of conflict, of separation, of really being thinking that they're so different from the others. There, he has to go through this so that all these three remain. Look, the rebirth, the new earth, and the one that is based on the foundation of love. Okay? So, very nice message from the divine feminines here. Even if they're going through a very tough time, okay? Some even the tower moment. So, that's what I have for you this week. And take care, everyone. Bye.